Banyo being bathroom.
Is it Banio Banio or Banjo?
Banyo is BAN with a squiggly line above it. Oh.
Oh yeah, okay. Casey's dumb.
But if you're looking for the library, that's donde está la biblioteca, because it has a at the end of it.
Okay. I am the stupid.
You're not stupid.
I'm a little bit stupid. I literally thought, hey, we're recording today. Remember, we're recording today like 4 hours ago when I woke up. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's the thing that's happening. Remember that, Casey. Remember, you're going to be recording. So you need to be aware of that later. Yum. Yum.
I still feel half asleep. Welcome.
Working?
Yep.
Sort of. You're a bit quiet.
I don't think my earbuds linked right. I can't hear you guys. 1 second.
Yum yum.
Yeah, I was in the middle of. Well, not in the middle of. I was just finishing eating when I got the ping of like, hey, Casey, you a moron? And it's like, oh. Yeah. Yeah, I am. I'm a moron.
Okay, got it.
Yay! Hello, Slicer.
Yeah. Welcome.
Hello.
We're recording something. I don't entirely know what. I haven't watched the anime for reasons of.
We can just do podcasts. I watched the anime, but it's fine. We can just do podcast.
I've already forgotten. Idiota, that was it. It's Spanish for stupid fucking moron piece of shit garbage.
Idiota.
Doesn't pay attention to the things he schedules himself.
In fairness, you could watch Zatch Bell and watch a similar but much superior anime. It's just shitty Zatch Bell.
We could also go with Estupido. Call you Estupido. Or, you know, that's also a word that works. Or we could go with El Tonto, calling you like silly or a fool. There's lots of Spanish words for calling people names.
Yeah.
That's a sign of a good language right there. Variety when you're insulting someone.
If we want to call you like silly or a fool or like, you know, a boob, el bobo. We could also call you el burro. Burro. I can't roll my R's very well. El burro, which is it means donkey, but also means ass.
I mean, yeah, that's literally what ass means, but yes.
Yeah. It's okay, though. It's really not a big deal.
So welcome to the podcast. As unintentionally impromptu as it is. Hi, everybody. That's a good 4.5 minutes of Casey doing mea culpas. I think we can move on. So, yeah.
I mean, if you insist, I suppose. Yeah.
So it's cool. It's I don't know what I have to talk about. I don't think I have much.
Uh, I can start if you want.
Cool.
Yeah, so I went and I saw the movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh, nice.
And if you like Sonic games, you will like this movie. Even if you don't like Sonic games, you'll probably like this movie. It's pretty funny.
That's good.
Yeah, they introduce Knuckles and Tails in this,
I
and
will. I heard one line, and I need so much more of Idris Elba as Knuckles.
he is fantastic as Knuckles. Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize he was casted as
Yeah.
Knuckles. That's awesome.
Knuckles is playing him up as like being a big, warrior tribe guy, but also is like in the games, he's an idiot.
Well,
And
that's how it has to be. Knuckles has to be stupid.
Yeah.
and it works out wonderfully. I love his dynamic with everything. Whenever Knuckles is on screen, it's a joy.
I mean, Idris Elba can play a goof perfectly well. Like, he doesn't very often because he's a big, cool black guy. But he can.
He plays a goof, and he has a little bit of that like Teen Titans Starfire energy, where everything is very alien to him. And he'll call baseball like base of ball,
You're describing a himbo. He's
yes,
a himbo.
yes.
Okay.
He's a himbo. It is great.
I'm into it.
Tails is has the same voice actress from the games,
Which is an interesting
okay.
choice. Like, you don't see that very often.
and is just adorable. Like Tails is.
It took them a long time to get a good voice actor for Tails.
Yeah, and she's doing great. The dynamic between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles is great. Eggman, played by Jim Carrey, is he's got even nuttier, and I appreciate it. Yeah, no.
He said that he's considering retiring from acting, and I think he made everyone very sad by that potential announcement.
I heard that. Yeah, that this might be his last gig.
I have also heard that he wants to come back in Sonic 3, so I don't know.
Might be that
I'm
he
sure
just
there's a
comes
number of
back to
properties,
play
but-
roles that he has played before. Like, his characters he will come back and do again, but otherwise, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to play a fat Eggman. That's his
fair.
goal.
That's fair enough.
It's time to retire. Let's get fat.
The human characters are as well are just funny. And throughout this the first movie of the like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 was like a bizarre, it was live action, but it was close enough to Sonic that you're like, oh, that's okay, right? This one is going further into being closer to the games, to the point where they established the organization, the Governmental Units of Nations, or GUN,
Wow.
which straight from the games.
Yeah. I think it was a different acronym then, but yes.
Yes, but that's how they're doing it. So that's now established in the setting. And there's some parts where I'm like, I kind of wish this was a game so I could play this.
And
that's
could
a
absolutely
good feeling.
see Sega doing it. This has been so successful as like a reboot that I could see Sega going, all right, fuck it, toss everything else out. Let's just do that. And then we can have the Christian Whitehead doing his thing for the old heads. Keep going with Sonic Mania and that. But our stuff, we'll just do the films. Like, that's fine. That feels like a thing they might do.
Yeah. Um, the comedy is great. The human characters are great. The fact that even though like my parents who don't know the games like were enjoying it, I think speaks volumes about it.
Mm.
Um, if you don't like Sonic at all, then I don't know why you would even watch this movie. But
Because people
uh,
liked it. Like, that's
but
legit it. Like, it was a really popular film, the first one, so I could
yeah,
absolutely see
if you like
non-fans
the
going
first
for it.
movie, you'll like this. But if like you get, I saw one review which was just like, more of Sonic and his annoying friends, and I'm like, why are you even in the theater?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair enough. Like, yeah, at that point, what were you really expecting? Were you
um,
expecting perhaps that it would just be more of Sonic and that guy who played fucking Cyclops? Was that what you were going for? Because I feel bad
well,
for you if that's what you were going for.
yeah, it seems like the next movie in there I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or a cinematic universe or what, but the next movie they are doing looks to be taking elements from Sonic Adventure 2, which has me excited.
Oh
Ooh,
boy.
okay.
Oh
Um,
boy.
I think I spent an hour in the Chow Garden. I'd be into that.
Mm.
I like a lot of Sonic Adventure 2, so I'm interested to
Mm.
see how they would adapt that or take elements from it.
Mm.
What's with the noise?
We're gonna do cinematic edgy the hedgy. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, yeah. I like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh boy.
I mean, they have to.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the thing, they have to. Yeah.
I feel like he'd be hilarious with the current tone of the writing of these movies. Just by contrast with everything else. So
Mm.
I have high hopes. This movie gave me a lot of faith in what that they know what they're doing now.
Okay.
Even having just seen the first one, I'm willing to give them the trust for it.
They managed to do something good, which is just make a movie like the games. There you go. Let's introduce the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald now. There we go. You know,
Mm.
good stuff.
You would think the next logical step for that would then be to do Chaos and Sonic Adventure 1, but I can understand why they wouldn't want to do that because that just ties the mythology directly into Chaos, and then what do you do with them?
Their mythology of the Master Emerald is different in the movie,
Yeah.
just slightly different. So Chaos wouldn't really work.
Yeah. It makes sense why they would just kind of excise that whole thing because it only works for one thing, but it taints the entire narrative kind of thing.
Yeah,
If you're actually doing a narrative and not just a weird pasted on thing of Sonic and his friends doing weird shit and eventually an Eldritch Abomination shows up for some reason, which describes a surprising number of the games now that I think about it in modern era. But if you're not going to do that and actually want to tell a story, I can absolutely understand keeping the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds as a very distinct thing separate from any one film's plot kind of thing.
yeah. Um, Going into like Sonic Adventure 2 specifically is that there's a lot more. There's human characters and such in Sonic Adventure 2. It works really well with the setting they've already established. Um,
That absolutely works for like if they want to do the Joe Robotnik thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, a weird thing came through to this world like Sonic did only like 50 years ago, and a Robotnik did a wacky thing with that then too.
Yeah, it can work pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, that was pretty much the plot of the original Sonic Adventure stuff, because that was tied in with Sonic X, and Sonic Cast were aliens in the world and stuff and things.
Still, they've already established, like, oh, there's other worlds out there. That's where Knuckles and Sonic and Tails come from. So, you want to do some alien stuff? You want to do some space colony arc? You want to do some stuff like
weird tentacle monster things that were in Shadow the Hedgehog, so Shadow can show up with a fucking MP5? Oh boy.
A weird, unique one that can pump.
That is actually a gun, but it was made after.
It is, yeah.
It was made after Shadow the Hedgehog came out, so they designed a gun based on the gun from Shadow the Hedgehog.
It's. I had a conversation with some friends earlier, and I was like, you know, they could have made Shadow the Hedgehog as a game work if they didn't try to shove in all the guns and vehicles and focus instead on the things that made Shadow unique, like his powers over, you know, chaos and chaos control and gaining abilities like that extend his moveset. And just instead of doing multiple branching paths, just have one story path with levels and such. That's all you gotta do.
The branching paths thing wasn't a terrible idea. The guns and fucking shit absolutely was. Like, that didn't need to be there. It just made him edgy the hedgy. If it was just an ordinary game in the Sonic style, it probably would have worked fine. It would have been edgy still, but not, like, stupid.
Well, the branching paths is so wild because there's so many different variations of paths that you can go, and most of them end up being nonsensical, story-wise.
They don't, actually. They're all pretty... There are explanations for how all of them work. Like, there is the one that's a little bit notorious because people weren't paying attention in the true ending, apparently. I played a lot of Shadow the Hedgehog when I was a kid. So, like, the Eggman path, which is the straight, true, neutral path right through to the end, is that the Shadow that you're playing as is actually just a robot, because Shadow discovers a bunch of Shadow duplicates that Eggman has made, and Eggman, like, tells him, yeah, you're totally just a duplicate, you're not the real one. The real one's dead. And then in the true ending, once you've done all 10 of them, Eggman is totally just like, yeah, I was absolutely bullshitting, you're the real one. My bad.
But how would you know?
Presumably he's tracking the fake ones. Like,
well, it was pretty. It was pretty obvious
time through the game. You're actually interacting with Eggman pretty frequently, so presumably he can just, you know, he's a science dude. He can tell these things. One would assume. But yeah, they do go back and explain how all the potential endings are canon, and also not canon at the same time, so any one of them could have been the path that Shadow went down, and the true ending is just the true ending.
Well, either way, I'm excited for what they do next. The movie's been very successful, it's made a lot of money, and it's broken the curse that the Mario movie started.
Which Mario movie?
The original live action one.
You know, do the Mario.
I mean,
that's what started the video game adaptation curse.
Was that the first video game adaptation?
I believe so. And it's after that, all of them had a really hard time.
List of films based on video games. Thank you, Wikipedia, for already having a perfect thing that I'm looking for. 1993 was Super Mario Brothers. That was the first live action one.
Yep.
And then, oh god, look at all those to be announced. And then the animated ones is Final Fantasy. There's some. Nope, that was literally the first one ever. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some very exclusively Japanese market ones, but aside from that,
Yeah. There's some. You look at. I like how the wiki page. I found it, by the way. It just has the Rotten Tomatoes scores nearby, and you look and.
yeah, Rotten Critic and Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, yeah. It's a lot of really low numbers here. 1% for Alone in the Alone in the Dark. That absolutely makes sense. Fucking Tara Reid as a brilliant scientist. Absolutely, I buy that 100%.
Oh, Rampage did well. I liked Rampage.
That was a fun movie. I did actually enjoy that one.
And Detective Pikachu also did well, which that's just
Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time managed to make a 50 on Metacritic. Good for them. That is the highest score I've seen on this list. Oh, we got a 52 on Rotten Tomatoes for Tomb Raider. Yeah, people liked Tomb Raider. That one was popular with moviegoers, not so much with critics, I guess. Yeah, then Sonic the Hedgehog.
What is the score of Sonic 1?
Let me look that up.
Of the first film, that's 63% on Rotten Tomatoes and 47 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Really? Wow,
apparently.
that's mean.
Yeah.
According to
These films just don't do well with critics at all, ever.
Yeah. 93% audience score on Sonic 1, though.
Oh, fair enough.
Apparently,
that's weird, though.
Critics really liked Werewolves Within, whatever that is.
The fuck?
But the Rotten Tomatoes audience score for Sonic 2 is 97% versus a 67% critic score.
Oh boy, this is the most depressing thing I've ever seen. The Angry Birds Movie 2 got a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. I did see the first one. I think I stole that movie. It was one of those cases where I went to the theater and saw one movie, and then, like, on the way out, I noticed that another movie was starting. So I'm like, well, I'll just watch this, and then just walk in.
Yeah.
Don't look at the Pokemon movies. Don't. Oh, no.
Boy.
The Pokemon movies.
They hated Pokemon 3? Oh, fuck you. That was the really good one.
I know. I love that one.
Yeah, you really get the impression that, like, some of these films were not that bad by any means, but you really get the impression that it was just how critics were with video game adaptations. They went in expecting to fucking hate it, so they always did.
But yeah, excited to see more. You can kind of notice the art style changing to be more and more like the games, which I appreciate. They're like, wow, people liked it when we changed that disgusting hedgehog design. Let's just tweak it a bit more.
That abomination? Yeah, I'm so glad they changed it.
Yeah,
that single-handedly saved the movie.
Oh god, what was it? I think it was Tyler Hess. I think they got to redo it. Who did like a shitty Sonic fan comic that was sort of like a parody thing, I think was the thing. I'm just trying to remember the details from that fucking Super Eye Patch Wolf video he did on the Sonic fandom and how the fans basically rescued the entire franchise from top to bottom.
like I'm just gonna look at. See, this is what we got right now.
Yeah.
In Sonic 2. It looks like the characters.
Yeah.
And
The
just
eyes
to
are
remind
disconnected,
you,
but that's the only real thing. Yes.
the eyes are disconnected, but there's like a little white part at the bottom to make it look like they're a little bit connected.
I mean, in the first picture that you sent.
Yeah, in the first picture, there's a little. Yeah.
I don't really see it, but I'll take your word for it.
It's a little bit hard. It's a little bit hard to see in the art, but yeah. And then the original Sonic design. You look at that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not great.
I don't even know what they were going for. And I feel like they don't either.
Probably not, honestly.
Like, what was the story of, like, it was almost like Godzilla 1997 thing, where the owners of the property, like, went into a meeting and the Americans were like, hey, yeah, this is what he's gonna look like. And all of the very Japanese people were as respectful as you expect of the Japanese, and just okay. And just very quietly left the room. Kind of thing. Yeah.
I can't even imagine being someone who made something and then, like, adapting someone else's work, and the original creator comes in and they're just so disappointed they don't even have feedback. They just leave.
In fairness, this wouldn't have been like the original creator. Like, Yuji Naka wasn't even with the company anymore. And for the Godzilla one, like, this was 1990. This was 40 years after the original came out. Like, this is a different thing. But yeah. Even for suits that just own the property now and are like, oh, that's what you want to do with one of our flagship characters. Okay.
And it's like the redesigned, like, Sonic. When you look at the comparison between the original design and the old trailer and everything else, the larger eyes and, like, kind of like the eye ridge that kind of works like eyebrows, like, he's so much more expressive.
Yeah.
And that's part of why it was a good design to begin with, the original design.
Yeah, like it's you've got the eyebrows kind of thing, but it's also very, very slanted downwards. Mm-hmm. So by default, as part of the character design, he looks kind of, well, he looks like he's got attitude, I guess you could say. As my backpack said when I was in primary school. I was going to say high school. I definitely didn't wear it in high school. But as my backpack said when I was in primary school, that was, like, you know, styled after Green Hill Zone, which it was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else thought so, but I did. It was nice.
It occurs to me that you could have, like many things that you drop in high school, you could absolutely wear a Sonic backpack to college and you would be the coolest kid again.
I mean, yeah, college, no one gives a fuck anymore. And yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's as sick of the high school bullshit as you are at that point. So
wear what you want and let other people see what you like, and they can be like, hey, nice shirt.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I'm very excited for whatever they do next in the Sonic cinematic universe.
I'm down for it.
Because I can totally imagine a city escape happening with the direction they've been going.
The Sega cinematic universe. jump a couple of continents and fucking Kiryu's fucking up Kamurocho and
Yeah.
shit.
Well, whenever they do the Sega movie intro, you can see Yakuza there with the other Sega games. I'm like, hey, be really easy. Just saying.
Yeah. I'd be down.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there have been Yakuza film adaptations, or Ryuga Gotoku, or whatever the original Japanese title is called. I forget. I think that was it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I've never heard about it, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
I mean, they made a joke about it in Persona 5. Persona 5, Persona, another one that they could absolutely... Yeah, we'll just make knockoff JoJo movies. Cool.
So, aside from Sonic...
and then Sonic, it's a crossover, so Sonic has to go up against Nyarlathotep.
Gosh, I saw something which was I think it was the person who directed the Sonic movie was like, yeah, no, we'd be totally down to do a Smash Bros. Movie. And I'm like, well, maybe if the Mario movie's good.
Yeah.
I don't have I don't have faith.
No one does. You
but
didn't need to finish the sentence.
I know that Jack Black will be a great Bowser.
Jack Black will have fun with it because he has fun with every role he takes. I don't have as much hate for Chris Pratt as the rest of the fucking world does now, apparently. But I don't know what's up with that. I think is the animation studio doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the worrisome part.
Yeah.
Get ready for the Mario fart jokes.
Did Chris Pratt have troublesome opinions about COVID or something? Why does the world hate him?
No, he's just in everything, I think, is the thing.
Oh, just fatigue.
It's just a massively weird miscasting as far as everyone else knows.
I think
because they haven't actually seen the performance and they're just assuming because they've seen Chris Pratt be what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy. They just can't see him as Mario, and that's why they hate him, I guess.
Ah.
I think there was something else. It's kind of a bizarre hatred because I don't think he actually did anything, but I think he went to a church that did some bad things.
Oh, yeah, they're very possible. It's very easy to be hated. The public is fickle.
Yeah, he went to this church, and then everybody started assuming he was the worst person and applying all sorts of awful traits to him. But that's not really fair.
Yeah, I don't think that really applies to the disgust for him playing Mario is a bit too widespread for such a very niche cancel culture blip. That's such a nothing thing. No one.
There's a few nothing
actually care about that, but everyone seems to be pissed that Chris Pratt is playing Mario. So,
I'm looking at the at an article these are kind of he goes to an anti-LGBT church is what he does. That was one of those things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's a few other just nonsense small things, I guess. The church thing, it's harder to find a pro-LGBT church, to be honest.
Yeah.
Depressingly.
That's kind of the thing.
But, every person's faith is their own, so.
It's a church. You go to a church, you sit down on a Sunday, and you pray for an hour, and then you leave. It's not like you're aligning yourself with all of their core values beyond God's pretty great.
It would be different if he was like volunteering every day or something like that for that specific church, but no.
No. Um, but Chris Pratt also got cast as Garfield in the Garfield animated movie that's
Oh,
upcoming.
Oh, okay.
actually, Garfield was played by Bill Murray in the old ones, and he was actually pretty like he was phoning it in, but he's still Bill Murray, so it was pretty okay.
So it's going to be kind of weird how you're going to go from Mario to Garfield.
It depends on how they characterize Mario, because they could both be very grumpy.
I think there's a lot of people who just they wanted Charles Martinet
Mm.
to voice act because he voice acts basically all the male Mario characters. Like he does Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi.
Wow.
You know,
That's the
Yeah.
thing, though. That's like what 10 lines and some efforts in every game. That's not a real acting. That sounds really shitty to say. So be aware that sounds worse than I'm trying to make it. But that's not a full acting in terms of narrative and character performance. You have to be cheerful and bright and vaguely Italian, and that's about as far as the character goes in terms of voice acting.
Also,
Yeah,
it's
and
really
he's-
easy to perfect 10 lines as opposed to an entire movie.
Well, he does. I've seen his like his Twitter and stuff, and he's done little videos where he has a little Mario and Luigi doll, and they're talking to each other, and it's kind of cute.
Okay, I
Um,
appreciate that.
he's been doing the voices for so long that people just naturally assume that he'd be doing the Mario movie.
Mm.
Because he's been there since the first time Mario could speak. So it's not like a case with like Sonic where the voice actor has changed over the years,
Yeah.
or other video game characters. He's just been there since day one. So I understand why people are upset and why they would take that out on Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
But I do admit that Charles Martinet's Mario is limited in range and what he can say and what emotions he can express, I think. So, yeah. Probably not good for a full movie.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't want anyone to get the wrong. Like I say, what I said sounded shittier than it was. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea there. I think Charles Martinet is a bad voice actor by any fucking stretch of the imagination. Because like we know he isn't. Like, do you remember how flabbergasted everyone was when he played the fucking dragon in Elder Scrolls V? Like,
Yeah.
the dragon on top of the mountain, he talked like this sort of thing, and that's also the same voice that "Let's-a go." Okay, voice actors have range. You would have known, but like it's just the way that he performs. He would be locked into a performance in the same style as he does for the games because he's the voice actor from the games. So that would be incredibly limiting, and that's not really what you want. Not for a film, anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's maybe not what they want for the character in the movie as well, because I don't know what his character is going to be in the Mario movie.
The worry people have is, casting celebrities for name over performance,
yeah, that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that is the thing that they do for 90% of things. I couldn't actually name the voice actor for Sonic in the Sonic movie, and that's probably a really good thing.
I think it's Ben Schwartz.
I don't recognize that name, which kind of proves the point a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like
He
I've
was
heard it
on
before, but,
he was on Parks and Rec.
okay, yeah. So not a huge name, just a name that is vaguely recognizable, but also just a really good pick for the character.
Yeah. Just a bunch of comedy TV shows. More of a TV actor than a big movie guy.
Yeah.
But
and then you get Chris Pratt, who is one of the most recognizable names in acting currently.
I mean, he has voice acted before. Quite a bit actually.
Hmm?
Chris Pratt. He has voice acted before. It's not like this is his first time voice acting, so I think he'll do good. Like he was the voice of the main guy in Lego Movie,
Okay.
as well as a few other cartoons and everything.
Okay. Hit me with some things where he wasn't Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt voice.
Um,
Because I know that's what he was in Lego Movie.
I don't know. I haven't watched all the things on this list I'm looking at.
Hmm.
But apparently in Connect Star Wars, he was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay. I have to wonder whether he was doing his Ewan McGregor or Alec Guinness impression for that one, but or both. That could have been interesting. But yeah, that would be the real test. Like if he has voice acted and done character voices instead of just I am voice acting, which is me, Chris Pratt, doing my Chris Pratt voice, but without me being on screen. If he's done actual character voices, then sure, absolutely, give him a shot. Otherwise, no, thank you. Seems to be the thinking. Like I say, I am willing to give it a shot. It is the Illumination animation thing that really worries me way more than the casting does.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sonic movie, good.
Yeah.
Um, Also, my second D&D campaign has ended as of last Saturday.
How did it go?
Oh, it went great. It was actually I've gotten the hang of pacing things out a lot better. I compared the character sheets of the final boss between the first game and the second game, and the second game character sheet was much more concise, lacked a bunch of BS that I had on the first sheet, and just seemed a lot easier to work with.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
The session didn't go like 6 hours or anything. It ended right on time, like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And that was with a short epilogue, which I didn't have to do a huge epilogue because it's a game that happens in my homebrew world. So um, those characters still exist in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And the other parties in future games can maybe interact with them or find them or see what they're doing then, which is nice.
So as opposed to having to play out the rest of their lives, you're like, okay, this is what they do for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah, this is what they're doing at the end of this. If you run into them in another game, well, maybe you'll get to find out what they've been up to. So, pretty nice.
I can relate with the monsters though, because like I've tried to add unique challenges for like, since I do one shots mostly, it's a little different. But it's like I know this person is going to be playing this character because they've been nice enough to contact me and say what their character is. So I'm going to add in this ability to make it interesting for them, and then I never remember to use that ability when they're actually fighting the boss because I've stuffed him with so many unique shit.
One thing I found: don't just chalk your boss full of like damage, immunities, and resistances.
Yeah, those are kind of boring. Flat passives are good for players, not monsters.
Like I gave like my boss immunity to radiant damage because it made sense, but also he summoned like ads that did not have immunity to radiant damage, so players who did that sort of damage type had enemies that could use that damage on.
That is fair.
That sort of like planning of giving players opportunities to do things, whereas the boss went and did things and had I made it very cinematic, and I'm very proud of myself for that. But Yeah, one game concluded, another game concluded. I'm feeling like a pretty good DM at this point.
Yeah, I mean, 2 ended sessions is a pretty big deal.
These games have gone
Or
on for
campaigns. Yeah.
years, so like the first one I did was like literally like level 2 to 20. The second one was 5 to 16. But you know, I tried not to have it go on overly long. It was a bi-weekly game, so
Fair.
uh yeah, happy about that. I also recently started getting into playing some Elden Ring PvP
Oh, I'm sorry.
because I caught up to where I wanted to be on New Game Plus. So I was like, you know what? The main Academy gate right in front of Raya Lucaria is actually a very popular PvP place.
That would explain the bloodstains.
So I'm going to head over there and I'm going to do some PvP. And I had a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
It's I found some guys who were using double great swords to try to frame trap you. So it would go and they would lunge with their great sword and then do a jump, double great sword attack to try to instant kill you, basically.
Yeah.
But I had a counter to that with the Bloodhound Step dash, which is super fast, that allowed me to get out faster. And I had one where a guy with double giant hammers ran up and bam, just one shot me with a jumping attack.
Yeah.
But the reason he did that was because I was casting Magic Limp Blades, which spawned and attacked him after I died. So while he was taunting, he got killed by my attack.
That's pretty great.
So that felt good. I haven't found any builds quite like mine, which I appreciate. And I've
That's
just
surprising.
seen a wide variety of builds, and aside from the couple that were using the double great swords, there were some that using pretty unique styles of weapons. There were some that when they didn't get that first jab and then jump attack and instant kill me, they just quit. They just left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
The abilities for invaders to make themselves leave is great for, if you find a player who's wedged themselves up somewhere and taunted tongue to just lure people into their world for nothing. But it sucks otherwise.
And was dueling against one guy, and I was doing my magic stuff, and he just was like, nope, and he just left. It's like, okay, I understand.
You're a coward. That is what is understood at that moment.
But I gain a new appreciation for the sorceries in this game because of how good they are at setting up things. Like
it takes work to use sorcery.
Yeah, but if you have the right combination of stuff, I feel very powerful in PvP, and it feels nice. It's one of my favorite aspects of Dark Souls 2 was because the PvP was very stable and just fun for me to do. I didn't really get into the PvP in Dark Souls 3, but it's a nice way to play a bit until they eventually announced the Elden Ring DLC. I did fight a guy named Megamind, though, who looked like Megamind.
Nice.
Fashion styles.
Is that the only one you? Naturally, yes. Armor has never been more worthless. It's great.
I have found numerous characters named Guts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
I did actually find someone unique. I don't know if you guys have seen Dropout TV's Star something. They have a sci-fi D&D campaign going on. Mm-hmm. And one of the characters is a clone super soldier named Big Berry 6 of the Berry Battalion. And somebody was named Big Berry 6 that I summoned in to help me with a boss fight. It was great. He was a bitch, though. He hung back with a great shield and a spear, and he did nothing. But, the name was interesting at least.
It's always fun to co-op with somebody and just help them through an area, because you're gonna get a lot of like souls and items dropped anyways. But also like, hey, look, an invader. Let's gank him. Oh hey. No, don't. And then the host just walks off the ledge.
Yeah.
You can see sometimes the fear of the host in a new area, which is just it's kind of cute. Being like, okay, let's go this way. I got you.
It can be really satisfying to escort new people through an area, to be just try to help them.
I just wish that I didn't have to, that the level scaling was different. So like I could go and co-op in like other places and that the game would just scale me down for it rather than have to be at a similar level.
It feels fairly forgiving compared to past games, though. Like, it's not as bad.
Yeah, I've been summoned in some areas where I thought there's no way I'm going to be summoned here. So that's been nice, but
Because it's an open world as well, sometimes you get summoned in and it's like, it's clearly someone just mopping up old content. They're
yeah.
overpowered for the area, but they've just summoned help for basically no reason.
You want to hang out?
Yeah, basically.
It's lonely out here in the place that Elden Ring takes place. I haven't played it yet.
Sometimes you're just walking through and then, oh, you've been summoned as a hunter. Wait, what?
Yeah, that doesn't happen often, but man, is it weird.
I'm walking through Liurnia and I'm like, there's no way I'm like level 180. Why would I be summoned as a hunter? It's like, they're just mopping up old stuff. I'm just gonna walk with them for a little bit. But yeah, been having fun with that. There's a new Lego Star Wars game out that is apparently really, really good.
Yeah,
I've heard nothing but really good things about stuff. Yeah.
I have seen some videos set to fucking Revengeance soundtracks, set to Bury the Light. Fucking.
There's some combos in that game.
Yeah.
You can air combo Child Anakin to cross huge gaps.
Yep. I want to play it.
Yeah.
I do like I have liked the Lego games in the past. Like back in the day, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, as it was called then, which was just the first two Lego Star Wars games, was a big winner for me back in the 360 era. That was a really good game, and then I kind of dropped off. But they're always good to just jump in and be like, yeah, just fuck around with Lego game, cool. This one seems to be more of a game from everything that I've seen. So I'm kind of into it. I also, oh my god, it has the best feature I have ever seen. You know how Lego games, like historically, like way back when they first started, they didn't have dialogue. Not at all. They had maybe a couple of efforts, and everything else was just, it's pantomime. They just, everything else is done through body language or, Lego character language and goofy shit. Then, I want to say, after the Harry Potter ones, I think that's when it first started, is when they decided, hey, we're going to have voice acting now. And some people were really pissed off about that because it kind of took away a little bit of the charm, which it totally did. It really fucking did. It's not as charming when everyone's just doing the same, like everyone's trying to ape the performance that the franchise is based on. So like you get the Marvel ones and everyone's trying to, like, you've got Black Widow doing Black Widow voice and all that, and it's fine, but it loses a bit of uniqueness because of that. Because it used to be so much about physical comedy. But now in this one, they've added a feature called Mumble Mode.
Yeah.
Which is so great. The fucking thing they have to show it off is the I am your father scene. and it's just Luke and Darth Vader just going.
There's what they've done is they've made it so that there is physical comedy. So if mobile mode is on, you know you're not losing anything.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, didn't they modify the mumble version of that specific event so he pulls out like a family photo or something?
I don't know actually, but I do know that the I have the high ground scene features Obi-Wan standing on a ladder.
Yeah. It's so good. That's like half the reason I want to play this again. Half of it is fucking I want to do Smoke and Six style combos on Anakin, and the other half is mumble mode. That's why I want to play the game.
I kind of want the voice acting on because you get little character interactions when you have certain characters together. Like if you have Child Anakin and Darth Vader, and Child Anakin's like, "That's a cool suit of armor. Can I get one?" And then Darth Vader's just like, "Patience, child, patience."
I appreciate that.
So I kind of want to get those, like I want to hear those character interactions. Just when you get weird or ill-fitting characters, but like other than that, mobile mode sounds great.
It legitimately sounds great. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Well, that's it for me on things I can talk about for now.
As I said, someone's clipping the fucking nails again.
No. That was just putting something away.
Yeah. Sure it was.
Yeah.
I believe you.
How was it?
As I said at the top, I have very little to talk about. Stardew Valley is way more fun when you just cheat like a son of a bitch.
It really is.
Yeah, I literally just have cheat mode on all the time, so I can freeze time and do whatever I want to do in that day for however long that takes. And then, just let it move forward when I need people to be in places that I can get to. And just movement speed up. Like, I don't want to spend the 30 seconds it takes to get from the house to the fucking carpenters. So, fuck it. Super speed, I can do it in 5. Like, yeah. It's...
I mean, you're just making the game better. You're eliminating all those little nitpicks that drag down the experience. So, yeah.
Just, like... The bits of inconvenience that you've done 1,000 times and don't want to do 1,001 kind of thing. So it's made the experience much more enjoyable to just be able to do the things I want to do and get it done. I still feel the time limit has its place, but I have done the intro of, the early stages of the game so many times that I don't want to pretend that I'm okay with growing a single field of parsnips and then doing it again 4 days later. Like, cool. I've done that enough times. I don't want to do it again. So just give me a bunch of money. Let me actually start playing the game for a bit. If that'd be cool, that'd be cool. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason one of the most defining things in my gaming career is Zoo Tycoon. There was a money glitch, or a money cheat, rather, back when cheat codes were a thing, where you just hold a bunch of buttons, and like the last button was straight up the money key. So like, what was it? Number 4 on the number pad on top of your keyboard. You just hold it down, and you would gain money really quickly. So we would like go out to eat and we'd weight down the keyboard with something, so we'd come back to just trillions of dollars, and then you just have fun playing Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. At that point, you are kind of risking the possibility of the code of the game doing like that thing that Gandhi did supposedly, of just like
we should
so
go backwards
high that
basically.
it goes back to 0. Yeah, but
it was an old game, I would not put it past it to do that somehow.
Yeah. Stack Overflow. That's it. That's what it was.
Yeah, Stack Overflow.
Yeah.
Or sometimes Stack Underflow.
If you go too low, then it goes back up to the top, and then, like, okay, you have all of the money, kind of thing, instead.
You go too low, and then suddenly Gandhi starts nuking everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gets real angry.
Yeah, but that's
turns
my
out Inner
nice
Peace is nuclear
time
fire.
of doing things, of just not worrying about anything, and just, I have a farm, and I'm flirting with the wizard who is a lazy lady now, so that's cool. Yeah, mods are pretty great, just all over.
Yeah. Sounds relaxing to me.
Yeah. Also have the Stardew Valley expanded thing that has recently, like a couple of months ago, gone to 1.0 for that mod, which means it's basically complete. Which adds a bunch of new characters and a bunch of new areas and stuff that I'm still kind of figuring out what the fuck the deal is with, because it just adds a bunch of different places that have things going on in them, but you don't, like, it's a thing that I assume comes up later in the game, or once you talk to people enough and, you know, get the relationship up, and you figure out, oh, this is why this is here, and this is a whole thing that I can unlock later, kind of thing. Which, you know, it's cool to add more stuff like that to the game. Yeah.
I appreciate just across the board additions like that. That feels like you've really just essentially gotten another game.
Yeah. Like, you know, like the forest area to the bottom left of the map, there's they had that one little section at the far bottom left that has the bridge that isn't there except on a specific day when they have a specific festival there. That's all replaced with just a huge extra section of forest that has an old abandoned farm on it. And it's got all this little detail of things that's sort of like background for why this is here, and that it was a failed thing, that, you know, it was a failed business, so it's all just overgrown and everything. So you could just, you know, take it over and use it as extra farmland for you, but probably also has story significance for one or two of the characters in the game that they added. It adds a bunch of content for the Joja side of the game.
Oh.
So if you decide, fuck that community center bullshit, I want a warehouse, you can do that, and there is story content behind it now. And
considering how empty that experience was, I'm glad for that. Yeah. That sounds great.
And Morris becomes an actual villager that you can talk to and give gifts to, and has actual relationship dynamics for, and defines them as a character beyond evil, bad corpo person. I mean, there's still that, but it explains kind of why. So that's like really, someone is clipping the fucking toenails. Zero.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not clipping anything.
If you're controller clicking, that's me. I don't know what Zero's doing.
Oh, might be. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Pointing the gun at me, huh?
You fucking did it on one of these episodes before, okay? You can forgive me for being paranoid about it now.
I also hear the clicking, so Zero, I think you're doing something that's making sound, but
I'm not clipping my toenails or anything, but I do have the clips here, and I was just mindlessly playing with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I need something to keep my hands. Where's my poppet? I need to get my poppet.
What the fuck is a poppet?
To ADHD brain.
What the fuck is a poppet?
It's a poppet.
Like a little plastic cube that's got a bunch of little fiddly bits you can play with on it.
Oh, a fidget toy. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I should get one of those. I forever didn't get one of those specifically because fidget spinners. Everyone's fucking buying the stupid fucking things. Remember that back in the day?
I can definitely see the fad craze aspect of that. Yeah.
So this thing's kind of like a bubble wrap thing that can just go forever.
I want everyone on this podcast and everyone listening to remember the fidget spinner craze was several years ago.
I still see kids with them.
Why do you got to do that to me?
It makes sense.
It didn't fully go away, but yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, you don't get fucking Amazon getting sold out on fidget spinners anymore, do you?
True.
Christ. That thing was crazy.
Yeah.
I was weirdly angry about that. I'm sorry.
I don't know why you would be so upset by people getting fidget spinners.
Because I thought they were cool.
So, you can go get one right now.
That might also have been
it.
a possibility for why I was annoyed, because I thought they were cool and I wanted to buy one but couldn't.
Well, go get one on right now. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, they're not sold out. They're very available.
Yeah, but they're like
you might even get a cool
I have to
one.
buy other shit with it as well.
Oh, well, there's that.
Buy a pack of 10.
Yeah, just have one on each finger. Like,
Yeah.
have them all spinning on my fingers and just take off into the sky.
Yeah. There you go. That's thinking with your noggin.
So yeah, that's Stardew Valley is still fun, and Stardew Valley Expanded adds a bunch of stuff. That's cool. It's not much else. Getting back to writing, so that was cool. Yeah, break's over. Back to work. Scrub. There. That's pretty much it.
I'm glad you had a good break, I assume.
It was a break. Like it was a case of that really annoying thing that happens when you're on break and you realize, hey, I don't have to work. But if I was to work, then I could have an even longer break, maybe.
Maybe. I could earn a longer one.
Maybe is right, because what I was thinking of was, hey, I know how the polls go on my Patreon every week. It's always the same stories. So what if I were to just write the next one that's going to win and just write that chapter now, and then I won't have to write it next week, which was, yesterday. Didn't win. So I'm glad I didn't do that.
I mean, theoretically, that just means when that story wins again, because it will inevitably win again, you're all prepared.
Yeah, but the idea was to extend my break. So if I ended up working on my break and I would still have to continue working after my break, then that would defeat the entire purpose. I would have been furious at myself, to be clear.
True.
But still. Like, if the one time I decided to get ahead and it didn't work because I decided my audience are predictable. Like, yep, that's a self-made problem right there. So yeah, very glad to be surprised though. Got to write a story that I don't get to write very often unless I decide to write it myself. So it was cool.
Fair.
Yeah. How you doing, Slicer?
Pretty good. Let's see. I have also been playing a great deal of Elden Ring, like now, for instance. Because I like to keep myself busy in some respects while we're podcasting. Otherwise, I stop paying attention. Ironically, but so when I said I'm sorry when you said you were PvPing, my experience with PvP has been running into nothing but the current meta build, which is spam weapon arts, and if they don't die, leave. Which is kind of what you dealt with, but it gets bad. For instance, the current character I'm using actually started as a Madness build, which is the most PvP build I've ever ran. It hurts playing PvE and just being so horrendously underpowered. For those who are not aware, madness is a status condition that only players could be affected by, and NPC enemies that are basically enemy players.
Yeah.
And when that status condition pops, your character grabs their head and their eyes light on fire, and you're basically trapped for like 5 seconds. That's death in Dark Souls combat. The enemy has time to power up a strong attack and just one-shot you.
I had I was watching a friend play, and he was going full dragon build. And
okay.
the problem with the dragon abilities is, while they can do a lot of damage over a wide area, there's a big startup, and if you get hit once during that startup, your ability is just basically canceled.
Yeah, they don't have hyper armor, which is a little weird. It's kind of strange. I guess it's to balance it, I guess. I don't know.
And he was really struggling. I'm like, okay, first things first, go get Lightning Spear. If you're going to do a Faith build, get Lightning Spear.
It's a good, reliable one.
It's just fantastic. It's fast and it has range. But with Madness, the fact that it isn't going to work on most enemies means, ouchie.
Yeah, Madness in PvE is basically an underpowered fire user. Your weapon does physical and fire, but not a lot of fire. So, it's bad. Also, most of the enemies you need to kill to get the build items are... So you gotta fight Moog to get the Catalyst, which is one of the 4 demigod bosses. To get the armor, you need to beat an NPC that can just one-shot kill you, no matter how much health you have.
Yeah.
And just a bunch of other things like that. It's a rough build. The reward is you could pretty much kill any player you want, though, because status conditions are broken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been fun.
Going with a yeah. Sorry.
No, that was it. It's a great game. I've been really enjoying it.
Going with a magic and frost build is very fun. Works great on PvE and PvP.
I can see that. Yeah.
I do use Moonveil, which Moonveil meta and everything. But one thing I've noticed is that ever since they buffed Arcane and made it work properly, I see a lot of people using Rivers of Blood.
Yeah, I mean, people use that even before it scaled properly, just because it instantly procs bleed when you do your weapon art.
And when I dodge out of that and then just kill them once with Moonveil, I'm like, oh, that was all you had, huh? Because if they don't kill you with that weapon art, well, that's all they got. Is just trying to hit you with that particular one weapon art. Whereas I'm over here, I have 4 items that I'm switching between at any given time. I got my staff. I have a Uchi that has Bloodhound Step. I have the Moonveil. So I'm casting spells. I'm teleporting around. I'm doing all my fancy stuff. But a lot of people just don't level up their life enough to survive a single attack from a good spell or a good slash.
A lot of that's because of the requirement for items. Like if you want to specialize in a couple different things at once, it can be rough just to meet the minimum requirement for an item.
Yeah. It's why I try to fine tune my build to where I know what items I'm going to use. I'm not going to use really any other items, but I'm going to be really good at the ones I do. Whereas sometimes you'll see somebody who's trying to use both Moonveil and Rivers of Blood.
Which is a pretty hefty dex and intelligence cost.
Plus Arcane, because they need that for Rivers of Blood, so they're spreading their stats too thin.
I know my starting class had 9 Arcane, so that's an 11-point investment right there for the katana. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm level 190, 191, so.
Wow.
At the PvP where I'm doing it, you should have your vigor at least 40. If you don't, then what's wrong with you?
Minimum. Mine's 55 right now, and I might go a full 60 just because.
I didn't go that hard into vigor because I wanted to have some more mind for spells
That's fair.
and
I
just a
could go
bit.
harder into the scaling for my weapon, but it's fine.
If you can survive somebody's big attack, you can probably kill them.
That's also kind of the other thing. Like usually most people's big attack will kill you no matter how much health you have. Like it doesn't matter. They're all broken in that sense. So you are almost better off getting an acceptable amount of health, and then the rest is maybe endurance to get more stamina, so you can actually block it or whatever.
Yeah. If I survive somebody's big attack with a sliver of health left, and I'm able to kill them using that sliver of health, then that means I did it right. You know?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Hey guys,
So yeah,
Yeah.
you remember when we
so that's
stopped talking about Elden Ring?
yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fair.
It was a good
So the
time.
next thing is,
Yeah.
I think it was last Friday. I just decided to veg out all day, and I woke up super early, 4 a.m., and then I just watched Good Place for 16 hours, which is a really good show. I enjoyed it.
Was it a good place?
It was a good place, except when it was not, because the show goes places.
Doesn't
It
go good
is,
places, as it turns out.
yeah, ironically. So I expected that show to hit me a lot harder because the characters lose their memory repeatedly. That they get reset to a certain point. In season one is just the baseline plot, and then after that, a bunch of other stuff happens. That is my worst fear. It's just, oh, all my memories are gone. I am someone else now. But no, it wasn't that bad. I didn't have that gut, visceral, bad feeling that I usually do when I am faced with that kind of scenario.
Mm.
And I was able to just enjoy the show. It was very nice.
Sounds good.
And I kind of think that's it. I tried Nailed It, which is this cooking show where people, like really bad chefs, try and copy really advanced cakes.
Mm.
And it's hilarious. It's great. Some people do a really good job, actually, despite, not like being professionally trained in any sense.
Nailed it.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
I know basically nothing about cooking, and yet inexplicably I love the videos of that one guy from the TikTok. I forget what his name is. I'm trying to scroll back and find the fucking video. There it is. B. Dylan Hollis, who does like basically most of the time a minute long video, because it's TikTok, of baking recipes from obscure cookbooks, just to see what it would end up like, because a lot of them are really fucking weird. Like I think there was one that was literally a bread loaf made of 90% nuts. Yeah.
That's a real World War II era cake.
Yeah.
Right there.
Just sort of like all the weirdest stuff. Yeah, like that sort of thing where it's very clear that this was a recipe created because there were some things that people couldn't get hold of, so they improvised, kind of thing. And yeah, sometimes it works great, sometimes it really doesn't, but it's the guy's enthusiasm for every single dish that he is creating and then trying that is just kind of infectious. I do not want to learn how to bake. I don't like that's not for me. I'm good without. But it's kind of interesting. Like he does the short videos and then he sometimes does longer form videos for things that he really wants to get into for the mechanics of why this works or doesn't work. Like I posted a video in general chat a while back, which I would have to go find it again. That was just baking a cake from an oven that has not been preheated, which is a weird thing. Like literally any recipe or any food product that you have to cook in an oven, every single one of them will tell you, hey, preheat the oven and then put it in. And it turned out really interestingly.
The big question is, do you guys do that?
What, preheat an oven? Yeah, that's how you cook things.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's how you cook things. Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, that's
like,
really bad. You should do like all of the cooking
no.
times will be off by like minutes.
Yeah, of course. I learned to adapt.
You gotta
either add an extra minute or
you preheat the oven first.
Or I could not, and it's just faster.
Yeah, salmonella's fun, you guys. Fuck, dude. Like, yeah, okay.
I don't undercook my food. I just add more time, which negates the purpose of saving time before. But
yeah, kind of a little bit. It's almost like your plan is bullshit.
It is. I'm lying to myself, but hey, it feels better.
Yeah, but like that was the crux of the recipe, and he wanted to see like whether that actually meant anything for how the food turns out, and it turned out yes, it absolutely does, and makes the recipe much more palatable than doing it quote unquote properly. So that's cool insight into the mechanics of baking, and likewise, he's also not like a trained culinary chef or what's the term for baker? Patissier? I think that might be it. Not sure. But yeah, that is not a thing he has training in. He just really, really likes it, and that comes through. So that's fun to watch.
I can definitely respect the passion.
Yeah. So that's good. That's some good stuff to have on when you're feeling hungry but not hungry enough to immediately go cook. Oh, watch something of that. Work up an appetite, kind of thing. Or ruin it if you pick the wrong video, I guess. there are some real bad ones.
Yeah. You can definitely you can find some stuff to be a nice appetite suppressant if you want.
Yeah.
But
God, what was it?
Thinking about it, I think that's it. I haven't really done much, honestly. Watch the Halo show.
Oh boy.
It's
what do you think?
Bad. It's bad. Real bad. It hurts me to watch it. Some of it, like some of the changes actually make sense. Some of them don't.
Care to explain?
Yeah, you might have to qualify that statement.
Let's see. I wish I'd made notes or something. It would be so much easier. As for casting, they decided to make Keys. He's a black guy, and his daughter's black. And in the video game, she was vaguely Middle Eastern, so she was already a person of color, which is a little weird, but whatever. I don't care about that kind of thing. Guns suddenly do more damage when they're in a Spartan's hands. Just flat out. Like, in the very first episode, in the first scene, this little insurrectionist colony is invaded by Covenant. It's not really explained why they spontaneously attacked this base, but whatever. Or no, wait, no, there is something on the planet they want, never mind. But anyway, so there's like 40 insurrectionists, and one of them is on a Jeep-esque vehicle with a minigun on it. So like they have a pretty hefty amount of firepower aimed at this, this one little group of 3 elites walking toward them slowly. They're just all opening fire, and their shields are just effortlessly blocking everything.
That's
the Master Chief picks up this. Yeah, the Master Chief picks up this same minigun from that Jeep and breaks their shields in 3 bullets. They kept the time-honored tradition of the handgun being incredibly overpowered, and then they can break through an elite shields in 2 shots and blow their head off. So, but of course, only in a Spartan's hands, naturally. Sure, if anyone else picked that up, it would be completely worthless. Katana or Cortana, I don't know why I said Katana. Cortana can take full control of Master Chief as opposed to just
being a voice in his head.
Of his armor features. Yeah, basically. Like she can take full control of his body and puppet him.
Then why
those features aren't currently active in the episode we're on, but
like at that point just make a robot.
Yeah. That was straight up the point that one of the other scientists mentioned at the meeting that oh god, what's her name? Halsey brought this program up because apparently AI weren't greenlit yet, despite them already being super common in the UNSC by this point in the Covenant War. But whatever, it's fine. AIs are also based off of flash-cloned human brains now, so they need to make a clone, rip out its brain digitally, essentially melt their brain with a tool, and then put that on a USB, and then inject that into someone. And that's your AI.
Functionally, that's not entirely different from the regular process, but okay. It's a little weird.
I didn't know that, actually.
I don't think the flash cloning is a thing, but it is basically just duplicating a person's mind, yes.
That, yes. I know it was based... They had... The base of the AI was based on a human being. Whether that, who that human was didn't overly matter, but I knew Cortana was Halsey, which is also in the show as well. You know the big deal about humans being the heirs of the Forerunners? So, all humans can use their tech? Nope, not a thing anymore. Only special humans can use Forerunner tech. They're called Blessed Ones.
Oh my god.
It's great.
No.
Chosen One narrative. Fucking wonderful.
Wouldn't you know it? John just happens to be one of the 2 known special ones.
Is the other one the little insurrectionist girl?
No. The other one is a human woman that the Covenant captured and is raised as their own.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't. It does not.
No. Why would they even do that?
They don't do that. Somehow, they could detect that she could use Forerunner tech and captured her when she was a small child. Yup.
Okay, at this point, it's worth remembering that the people that wrote the show do not care about Halo. That's not to say, it's just a thing we know about. We don't really... We're not invested in it. They do not know anything about it. Didn't read the books, didn't play the games, don't know the story. They're getting broad strokes and they're just throwing it in. That is how they wrote the show. So, not being faithful to canon is a fair criticism, but stops being relevant once you remember that this is the approach that they had to the show.
Yeah. One thing I did appreciate they kept in as a hardline main plot point was the Cole Protocol, which is, no human vessel can have easily accessible coordinates to a human colony in case of capture. And they never go directly to a human colony, so they're not followed back there, which is good.
And Earth is basically the most protected. They don't have coordinates for Earth pretty much anywhere except the very, very most important colonies like Reach, which was kind of the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing that was kind of canon adjacent was, how hunters are actually worm colonies?
No, I didn't know that, but okay.
Oh, well, hunters are worm colonies, held together by their armor. And, yeah, they're just living worms, basically. The saboteur, I forget her name, the Covenant human woman, sneaks onto a human ship and attacks it with the aid of a hunter, except it isn't in its armor, it's just a giant swarm of worms. that's not something that's been done before, but I have no reason to believe it can't be done.
That actually sounds like an interesting concept, yes.
Yeah, I was kind of in for that. It was cool. She also has like a laser sword in like in her finger, so she has a little energy blade. It's kind of cool. I have no reason to believe that Covenant tech can't work that way. They can't add in tech. I'm blanking on the word.
Cybernetically?
Yes, thank you. Cybernetically implant some kind of little energy blade device. But so yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes, but I have severe reservations.
It is debatably even Halo seems to be one of those reservations.
Pretty much, yeah. The one thing that actually bothered me a lot was like I've played the games up until 5, I think. I didn't have an Xbox for a while and I just stopped caring about Halo. But and I've read a couple of the books, and one thing that does stand out is Halsey actually really, really cares about her Spartans. Like, she has their back as much as she possibly can. Especially John. He was the golden child in every sense. And she readily throws him under the bus in this. Constantly.
In fairness,
That just bothered me.
Doesn't the Master Chief just decide to immediately betray the UNSC at the first possible opportunity in this series?
For
an insurrectionist girl that he's never met before?
Yes, and he's essentially under the influence of drugs when that's happening. His judgment is severely hampered.
I don't know what's going on.
So he touches a Forerunner device that shows him memories from his childhood, except for the thing isn't the memories, it's the fact that he's feeling, which it is canon that Spartans have an implant that kills their emotions, basically, or dampens them severely. So, like, he's getting the full force of, like, love and family blasted into him by this device. And he's told to kill this girl that he's just escorting back to base, who hasn't actually done anything wrong, and he saved her from Covenant slaughter. So, like, it does make sense that caught up in the heat of the moment, he would run to the nearest colony that he knows someone at and drop her off before coming back.
Okay.
It is definitely weird, but they at least, emphasizes it, lampshaded it, whatever you want to call it. They did excuse it.
Okay.
Or set it up, rather. They did set it up. But I am kind of glad I didn't watch the series a couple years ago when I had more Halo knowledge and was more invested in the series. Because I would probably be much angry instead of just kind of like vaguely insulted.
That's a way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Video game adaptations, huh?
Yeah.
Also, there's a funny
Sonic
thing
2.
about them forgetting to paint a prop, which was that's a bit of a meme that's going around right now.
I probably
comparably minor, but yes, that is a thing that happened.
Oh, there was... The first episode has a lot of CGI that's really bad.
Yep.
But one of the most baffling scenes is this, like, 1 second long clip of the Master Chief just throwing his rifle to the ground because he picks up another weapon. And it flash cuts to the weapon landing on the ground, and it's CGI for some reason. Like, why? It looks so bad. It looks really, really bad. It's just a rifle being thrown on the ground.
They didn't do the work.
So confusing. Confusing.
They didn't have a second camera.
Cameras are expensive, man.
I was assuming it was more the prop. Like, they didn't want to throw the prop on the ground.
It's such a weird thing. Like, come on.
It's confusing, but yeah, I think I've talked about Halo enough. I don't know. That was about all I had. So
So I guess the takeaway from this is don't watch Halo and do watch Sonic.
Yeah.
yes, but watch Halo drunk. It's probably better.
That's the
Interesting argument.
I was tipsy, and it didn't help a lot. But hey, get close to blackout drunk, and maybe it'll work.
Watch it drunk and in a watch party.
Yes, that actually did make the first episode better. I watched the first one with a friend, and it was fun to just talk shit about the show. Anyone else have anything?
We have patrons, I believe.
Oh, I thought we did that last week.
Did we? We might have. Did we record on? Yeah, we did record on Tuesday. I guess we did do it last week.
Yeah. So that's it from me.
Right.
I had a long night last night. Sorry. It was
You're good.
deadlines and such. All right, so that's an episode of the podcast. Hi, everybody. Bye, everybody. Aloha.
See you guys.
Aloha indeed.
Discord link in the description. Patreon link in the description. I'm a fucking moron. Okay.
You're tired. It's fine.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Omelette du fromage.
So dreamy.
Ripping pepperoni, Kenchi. He's not dead. I'm just gonna establish that he's still posting shit, but he doesn't hang out. We're not cool enough anymore. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.